We call the December 8th, 2023 Civil Service Commission meeting to order at 9:03. Mindy, will you conduct roll call?
Yes. Commissioner Poplawski.
Here.
Chair Evian.
Here,
Commissioner Mortensen.
here. Mandy, has proper posting of agenda been established?
It has.
All right, so first, next item, approval of minutes of our October 11th and 25th and November 1st meetings.
I'll move to approve.
For a second,
I'll second.
roll call? Roll call.
Chair Evian.
Yes?
Commissioner Mortensen.
Yes.
Commissioner Poplawski.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, public expressions, is there anyone from the public on here? Okay. Employee organization. Patrick, do you have anything you want to-
No, I don't think I've got anything.
Okay, well then at 9:05, let's move to closed session.
Perfect. I'll put everybody in one. Meeting room and any
regular county employees to police academy without the need for them to resign from their regular employment. Employees wishing to transfer to the sheriff's office in hopes of making a career change would need to resign from regular employment and become an extra help or temporary employee. We believe the modifications as presented allow the classification to be used for county staff to transfer without a change in employment staff. So in addition to extra help, also being able to still use it. Other modifications were made to update the class spec to our current format. And HR recommends that you approve the proposed classification modifications. And I'm here for questions and everybody is also here for any questions.
What is a Class C, license?
Right, that's what you and I generally have. You drive a regular vehicle, not a larger truck or a bus or
Not a motorcycle.
Okay.
Not a commercial.
So I'm curious, I mean, there's driving involved in this position, so why would that be deleted? That valid Class C or better?
I believe that we
Yeah, that's been our standard is to just put valid driver's license because if
Oh.
you have a B, or a C. then
A and B is higher than
It's higher than a C.
Oh, okay. Okay. Utility community. I don't have any questions. You? You? Okay. Let's move on to 6C. Please.
Chair Commissioners, to this proclamation, HR Manager, you have before you proposed modifications for the corrections office. The Sheriff's Office reached out to Human Resources regarding edits to the classification, which led to a full review of the classification and proposed edits before you today. Updates to this job summary, addition of distinguishing characteristics, supervision, exercise, and movement of the required certifications and language updates for a more complete and modern classification. One change that we did not make on here that we would like to ask be added in today is at the end where it says reports to, it says corrections corporal, and that no longer exists. It should be corrections sergeant.
Page utility.
It's on that last page of the spec at the very bottom.
Oh, right here. Yes. Oh, you don't have it. You don't have the page. Oh, no. The page is different than mine.
It's, I believe he's on the finalized version without the edits.
So it's the one preview.
Oh, right. Okay. Yes,
Yeah.
right.
Sure.
So we would just like to be able to make that update.
I have a question. Throughout every bullet of example of duties and essential job functions, you've replaced inmates with incarcerated persons. What's the intent behind that?
there was I believe it's the Board of Corrections that is a state agency that advises you that you're not to use the term inmate and then we replaced it with incarcerated person. It's just a modernization of the term. It softens up. I think it humanizes people more. And so when we were talking about it, it occurred to me we should probably change the language in our county policy.
Yeah, no, it is a softer descriptive.
And it's more accurate.
What is the STC certified and under the licenses and certifications? And the corrections that we last spec.
STC, what is the organization?
Yeah.
Standards and Training for Correction, I believe for corrections, it's a subset of the Board of Corrections for the state. They tell us how to train our people
Similar to
in
this.
corrections,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Close as
I
much.
just hadn't heard of this. Who sees the word?
And why get rid of that, introductory training? Why no longer require that?
Those were moved.
Uh.
To below under license and certification.
As opposed to education?
And
Okay,
one of the issues we were having with candidates is they were giving up because they saw that and thought that we needed that from them before they came into our.
gotcha.
And that's
Okay.
not the case. We do that
Great.
training.
Okay, great.
So do we need to, vote on this change that you were requesting?
It needs to be noted in the.
The motion.
The motion, thank you.
Changing from
Correction, deputy to corrections corporal. Okay,
Changing the
Just
corporal
wait.
section. This corporal
Yeah.
time is extending. And they were both very big, sorry.
it's,
She said it was on the last page of the edits.
The very last page.
We referred to a corporal instead of the sergeant. And that's
keep
at the
going,
very bottom.
there it is, down there, changing that. to something.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Would someone like to make a motion?
That's it.
We have to specify this one specific change. though.
I'll move to approve the changes with the correction on the corrections deputy classification specification. Under the reports to be corrected to corrections sergeant.
And can you also include,
And approve the sheriff's sergeant or sheriff's sergeant and deputy so deputy sheriff coroner and training classification specification with no additional corrections.
I'll second.
Chair Evian,
yes?
Commissioner Mortensen,
Yes.
Commissioner Lasky,
Yes.
motion passes unanimously.
All right.
Thank you.
It's we're on 6B.
You'll hear me down. See you.
Patrick, I never offered the opportunity for comment after we came out of closed session. Did you have any?
No, I did get a chance to talk to Julia and Rena out in the hallway, and I
Okay,
can certainly relay my comments here as well.
okay,
Part of it was just logistics of Taylor Baker being put back on the schedule.
uh-huh,
Oh, I'm sorry. We're still in session. And I expressed my concern that while the commission made its findings over a month ago, the employee has not been put back to work. Supposedly going back on Monday, with the county expressing its financial challenges to have an employee basically sitting at home getting paid makes absolutely no sense. We have a number of people in that current circumstance. We've raised this concern in the past with some of their overuse of paid administrative leave. So that was one of the issues. We also had concerns about the back pay being afforded to her. She's been out for quite a long time with very limited income, so that's a concern. Yeah, I think that was the gist of it.
okay.
6B.
6D, thank you. Classification modification. Modifications to accountant auditor 1 and 2, and new senior accountant auditor, auditor controller, treasurer, and tax collector.
Good morning again, this is Randy. Before you, the item we have here is again a modification to accountant auditor 1 and 2, as well as the recommended motion to approve a new classification specification of a senior accountant auditor. with the request of the auditor, controller, treasurer, tax collector's office, we are creating the senior class in order to supervise an accountant auditor 1 and 2. The accountant auditor 1 and 2 series has been revised and modified to be more appropriate to the level 1. The level 2 being more journey level, and then we have the senior level coming in. If you have any questions with the changes or the modifications and or the new classification recommendation request for a senior, I am available, as well as acting accountant, auditor, controller, treasurer, tax collector Sarah Pierce is on the line.
So would the senior class be directly below the treasurer, the 4-term title, oh boy. The auditor, the treasurer, tax collector, auditor, controller.
The senior would report to
Yeah,
the deputy or the auditor, controller, treasurer, tax collector. The purpose of the senior is to supervise the ones below them,
and
which is the
who
accountant auditor 1, 2.
currently supervises them?
It will either be the deputy and or the auditor, controller, treasurer, tax collector currently.
And do they have so much work that they need another level so that they can withdraw from that supervision?
Sarah, I'm going to defer to you if you're available to speak to that.
Yes, good morning. Sarah Pierce, acting auditor, controller, treasurer, tax collector. Yeah, currently there are 2 auditor, controller level 2 positions. One focuses mainly on property tax, and the other one focuses mainly on kind of all other auditing. So we're requesting that there be a senior position be created so that they can, the senior would then supervise at least 1 or 2 of the other auditor controllers, and then the chief deputy auditor controller position could also supervise as well. But we're trying to have a level in between the chief deputy and then the auditor controller too.
And yes, there is enough work for that spread.
So sorry, yes, there is enough work to be able to have the 3 levels.
One of our current employees is working in excess of the standard work schedule as well.
So is that the motivation behind this? That there's just not enough personnel to do what?
We need a senior level, and the person the idea behind it is that we need to be able to hopefully bring in some other.
So sorry if I can interrupt. We're also trying to hire an additional auditor controller level 1 or 2. Those were originally recruited for, and please correct me if I'm wrong in stating how this goes, but they were recruited for, and then because of the hiring freeze, we were put on hold. And so we've requested and got authorization to release that hold for the hiring freeze. So we are in the process of beginning those interviews. And so the intention would be to have that new individual report to the senior position that we're trying to create here.
And currently above this proposed senior position are 2 levels or 2 levels? 1?
So there's you have the auditor controller 1, 2, and then from 2 you would jump to the chief deputy, and there's only 1 chief deputy, and then from chief deputy it would be assistant auditor controller.
And then what's above the assistant auditor controller?
The auditor controller treasurer tax collector.
Okay. Okay, so you've got 1 and 2. Can you go through that once more, please?
Sure, you have an auditor controller 1 level, a 2 level, and then from the 2 you jump to the deputy chief auditor controller, and then the assistant auditor controller, and then the auditor controller.
Okay, and this would fit in between the deputy chief and auditor controllers. One.
Two, yes.
Okay,
So right now, there's only supervision authority for the chief deputy and the
Right.
assistant.
okay. What other duties would the senior take on other than supervising 1 and 2?
I'm gonna try to put that back to Brandy. It would be there's the entry level auditor 1. I believe the auditor 2 would be more of a junior journeyman, sorry, and then the level or senior would be the more advanced.
That is correct. And so they're gonna carry on a more complex projects, technical projects that would need extra assistance by the 2 level that the senior would be more experienced and knowledgeable in. Also training, obviously, and supervising. And oftentimes they're gonna come in with more experience due to the level of complexity of the work.
And would there be one senior auditor controller?
At this time, we don't have that answer.
No, where is that? Oh, is
We're,
that?
we're just trying to establish the
Okay.
classification.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. All right. Any questions?
I don't think so.
I'll move to approve.
Can I ask a quick question?
Mhm.
Is this a, auditor's office only classification? I know we've got auditor appraisers in the assessor's office. Are there accountant auditors in any other departments this
Not
time?
at this time. And so, yes, it would be focused in the auditor controller's office. at this
So I would move. Oh, wait, I have one more question. Oh, sorry. Are there positions currently open in the auditor controller's portion of the office?
We recruited for them. We ran the recruitment. We received the list. I'm not sure the exact wording of how this goes, so please correct me if I'm wrong. We received the list. We were ready to interview. There was the hiring freeze, so the hiring freeze has now been lifted for this position. So we are in the process of trying to interview for a position, an auditor 1 or A2, on Monday.
So no, that neither the auditor controller 1 or 2 are currently filled?
There is an auditor 1. Yes, the positions are currently filled at auditor 1 and 2. And we're trying to hire for an additional 1.
That's a vacancy.
Oh, okay. Okay, just curious. All right, Terry, sorry. I move that we approve the class specification as proposed for the accountant auditor. All 3 of them. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Wilson,
Yes.
Commissioner Kozlowski,
Yes.
Chair Egan,
Yes.
motion passes unanimously.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Sarah.
2. Well, there is no other business. Do we have a report
Yeah,
in HR?
so Denise Bartlett, HR manager. There is a District 5 commissioner being appointed, and that was approved on December 5th from the Board of Supervisors, and the name is David Wiley. So we look forward to him joining the commission. HR will be bringing you proposed civil service rule changes by February. we'll say January. February, but and just a reminder to review your 2024 calendars and let us know if you will be missing any meetings so that we can schedule accordingly. Appreciate it. That was it.
Thank you. Well, with that, I think we can adjourn the meeting at 9:54. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.